You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Dario Kristen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I'm your host, Dario Kristen, and here joining me are DJ Jesse J.
Yo, what up?
And the lovely and talented Courtney Stewart.
Hello, hello.
Got us mixed up.
We have a great show for you today. We have a lot of topics we're going to cover, including Beyonce's big announcement, Chloe and Lamar's charity scandal. We also have Obama versus gun control, and Matt Lauer takes on Chris Brown on NBC's The Today Show.
Yes.
But before we begin all that fun, I want to read the results of last week's buzzer-meter question. Should gay marriage be legal? You guys voted. I'm going to read the results right now. 68% said yes, 22% said no, and 10% is undecided.
Ah,
Yes.
interesting.
So, but landslide with the yeses, right? All right, so we also have another question for this week that we want you guys to go vote at www.blackhollywoodlive.com. This week's question is, should security guards have guns in schools? You guys let us know what your answers are, and we'll read them next week. All right, Jesse, so we got some fun, trending topics.
We sure do. We have
Let's
a
start
couple
this up.
congratulations first. Actually, just found out today, Halle Berry is pregnant with her second child.
Wow.
Oh,
So let's just give her a hand
congratulations
clap for that.
her.
She's pregnant with Oliver Martinez, her boo. They're having a baby. She's 3 months pregnant.
Wow.
So congratulations,
Wow.
Halle.
Very cool.
Also, another congratulations to Miss Tina Turner.
Woo!
Hey.
Tina T.
At the age of 73, she is getting married to her longtime lover, Erwin Bach,
Get it, girl.
who's like 20 years younger than her. She's 57 years old. They've been together for 27 years.
Yes.
He's a German producer. They're living in Switzerland. I don't know if you guys knew that Tina Turner applied to be a
Yes.
Swiss,
Swiss citizen,
She
right?
renounced
Yeah.
her American citizenship.
So, well, not yet. Because
she already did
she
that.
hasn't fully been accepted federally. So once that happens, she will renounce being an American citizen.
Well,
So-
good for her. She looks
Things we do for
unbelievable.
love.
I mean,
Yes.
you know, what's love got to do with it? Everything, apparently.
Apparently it does.
It took her a long time to get over her whatever humps. Apparently, he proposed to her 2 years ago. This is allegedly. And she just accepted the proposal.
Yeah. This is her first marriage since Ike.
Yeah.
And you know, she says that she still, to this day, has never watched What's Love Got to Do with It.
I wouldn't either. I don't, that's like
I
reliving
watched it enough
something
for it,
real-
so it's
I know,
okay.
right? We've all seen it. Anime.
right. Well,
Anime.
Speaking about things that are overseas, not only is Tina Turner going overseas, but Cat Williams has been
Yes, he
overseas.
is.
Y'all heard about him? First of all, I love the picture.
Yeah,
that we
so
have.
that's very appropriate right now.
That's very appropriate.
Turning my head at you, Cat Williams. Apparently, Cat Williams is adopting a 6-year-old Russian child named Vladimir.
Okay.
That's fun.
He hasn't released a statement exactly about it. Only statement that he did say was that going through the process, he now has an understanding for people better because it's such a hard process to get the child. So he says he will no longer slap unruly employees or snap at audience members taking pictures.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Okay.
at least he's
Alright.
learned a lesson out
You
of
know,
this.
he's learning.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How do we all feel about Cat Williams adopting a child? I mean, he's had some interesting TMZ videos lately.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting because Russia was trying to enact legislation to keep Americans in general from
Yeah.
adopting Russian kids because of some issues that have happened with a few families adopting kids and things happening to them here. And one mom sent her kid back to Russia on a plane because he was a little special. So, I mean, hey, I don't know how Cat qualified, but
I mean, hey,
maybe
Dennis,
he's not as crazy as he seems.
from Dennis Rodman in North Korea to Cat Williams in Russia. I mean,
Yeah. I
then
don't
he's got
remember.
what? Yeah, we said 8.
8 kids, yeah. He has one child, a child of his own blood, and then he has adopted 7 other children, apparently.
Well, I guess if he could take care of them, you know,
Then
and give them a good
Give
home.
him a home, then
Yeah.
make
I
it
mean,
happen.
If their life is better than what it is there, then hey,
We
I'm
can't
all
say
for
nothing.
it.
Gay couples cannot get adopt. It's hard for gay couples to adopt a child, but Cat Williams can easily just go to Russia and just.
Well, maybe it's not easy, but
Pick
you
one
know,
up.
he making it happen. So
He doing the damn thing.
He doing it.
So we ain't mad at him.
He's
All
doing
right.
it.
So back to America. Broadway is releasing a new version of Romeo and Juliet, directed by David Leveux. It will showcase William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet interracially.
Yeah.
It's starring Orlando Bloom and Condola Rashid,
Who
Rashad.
is
Rashad, excuse me.
Felicia Rashad's
Yes.
daughter?
who,
and Ahmed.
yes,
She's a very pretty girl.
very, and she's an amazing dancer. So it kind of stinks that she won't be
awesome.
showcasing that. But so yeah, he said he didn't want to focus on black or white. It could have been any race. He's not trying to make this a race thing. He said it's 2013. This is what's happening in the world. The reason it ended up being a black female and a white male is because of their chemistry. He said we had hundreds of people audition. He said, but the chemistry between these two, you'll see it and you'll understand 100% why they were chosen for the roles.
I think it's an interesting take on it. So
Yes, I can't wait to see it.
Agreed. So congratulations, guys, for your Broadway debut. Now, Beyonce has been in the news again, believe it or not. Can y'all believe it?
The big
Every
announcement.
day.
Big announcement. Well, before the big announcement, there was another announcement that I don't know if y'all saw the Great Gatsby promo.
Yes,
I
of
did.
course.
Yes,
Did you hear that remake of Amy
Oh, yes, I
Winehouse's Back to
did.
Black?
I did. I still have mixed opinions about it, but
I do too.
Really?
Okay, here's my
Yeah.
thing. I thought it was done well, but I feel like it's just too soon to be touching Amy Winehouse's stuff.
that's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
And
I can
I
take
think
that.
we have a little sample of it.
Oh, this is.
Nope, this goes on to
Oh.
the next topic.
Oh, this goes on to the next topic. Okay.
Beyonce had a random video out, and it said, "Be here now" for 4/5/13, April 5th, 2013, where she released her new Pepsi commercial called Mirrors. It's Beyonce walking up to a bunch of mirrors and seeing her old past selves, like who we got, Bootylicious.
We had Bootylicious in the pink jumpsuit outfit. That
Yeah.
was hot.
Put a ring on it.
Yep, Single Ladies.
Single lady.
Ladies.
And Crazy in Love.
Crazy in Love.
Yeah.
And they do this new dance, and it's promoting Pepsi, obviously, but also her new single. The song right now is called Grown Woman.
I'm a grown woman.
Yeah. All right, Courtney. Let's see it.
Let's see you do your best interpretation of Beyonce, Courtney. Come on.
Come on. She was doing it before.
I need my wig on so I
Jackie
can like
So you flip the hair all around.
see the fro don't flip.
So there's going to be the song's going to be released on Monday. This is going to be her first official single off of the new album, which has not been titled yet. Very interesting as to why she hasn't chosen the title yet.
Interesting.
I feel like it's going to be called Mrs. Carter.
I hope it is. I
do too.
love that.
That would be interesting.
I think
It
it's
would be
hot.
interesting, especially since the couple just celebrated their 5th wedding anniversary.
believe
There's
it's
a
been
lot of
5
congratulations
years?
today.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
I didn't realize it was 5
And what did they
years.
say after you make it after 5 years? You're golden after that, right? Is that the
Maybe.
you make it after that?
Maybe, but they look darn good doing
They
it.
do, and they were down there with both of their mothers, enjoying. I'm sorry, in Cuba,
She looks
5
very
years.
African queen.
and they've been
love
together
it.
for what, 7 altogether?
Oh no,
Or
I think they were
10?
together 4 years before
Before
they
that,
got
yeah, I
married.
think
Yeah,
so,
because
4
it was like
years.
2004.
Yep.
Yes,
There you
because
go.
the 03 Bonnie and Clyde hooked
Yep.
up, right?
Thank you for putting your music out where we can add your dates.
Love it.
So congratulations to them. 5 years married in this industry, and now she's repping the whole Mrs. Carter.
Which we love.
Love it. All right, congratulations to Jay-Z again.
My man.
This man, first of all,
Dang.
I was doing some research on him. I never realized he sold Rockaware for $204 million.
Oh,
24.
yes, he did, honey
Yep.
pie.
That was the smartest investment because Lord knows who the hell is buying Rockaware right now. Those poor people who bought that, but that's all right.
That's okay.
Walking past that. Because Jay-Z is now going to become a sports agent.
Yes.
Rock Nation is going to open a Rock Nation sports agency. Now they're teaming up with Creative Arts, which is already one of the leading agencies
CAA.
in the business. And he said it was just a natural thing. He's like, I love sports so much, so it's a natural progression to go and scout people. This is a passion for him. So I'm excited to see what a lot of people are hating though.
Why? I just don't understand.
They feel like because he is a music mogul, he knows nothing about sports and he can't touch it.
so
Yeah, but that's not true because he's a Yankee lover, and his first person who signed is Robinson. Is it Cano?
Yep.
And I mean, this kid, he made $14 million in 2012.
I think they just mad because he got him.
But that's what I'm saying. He dropped his agent for Jay-Z. So this kid's not
Exactly.
stupid. So, you know, he's
Yes.
going to go with somebody who he knows is going to have him make even more money.
Now, if he does, well, when he does this, he has to drop his percentage from the Brooklyn Nets, though. He
Oh,
can't
yeah,
have
'cause
any
he would-
percentage in.
That's
Okay.
a
in a
conflict
team.
of interest.
Right. So,
Still.
Hey, I'm not mad. Learn something new. Keep growing. Keep learning.
He'll
keep
make it
making
up
money.
with this kid that he's representing. now,
right,
the
and I
Yankees.
mean, it's just like as far as your empire is building, like again,
you.
congratulations
It's
to them.
awesome.
All right, so Richard Pryor, famous comedian, it was supposed to be a biopic about him, and it was going to be done by Happy Madison,
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
with Adam Sandler's group.
Yeah.
Who do we have playing? Marlon Wayans was supposed to.
Marlon Wayans.
Play
Yeah,
and-
originally they had Eddie Murphy signed to the deal, but he dropped out of the project. And
And
then
Marlon, and then it kind of got dropped out. Well, Forrest Whitaker is going to be picking it up and doing the remake. He's really excited about it. We don't know who's playing it. If Marlon's still involved, I don't know how that would work out. I guess it would be if Forrest kind of picked
Kinda
up that
wants him-
script.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they said they're definitely working on a new script.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it pans out. Probably like what portion of his life they're focusing on and that kind of thing. But Marlon is still saying, "I want to be a
Yeah,
part."
they're saying
so.
that the press is saying that Marlon is still attached to the project still. So.
It's crazy because we talked about the Marvin Gaye biopics and how many of them were coming out, and so then we have the Richard Pryor one
Yeah.
coming out, and then not only that, but Mike Epps is playing Richard Pryor in the new Zoe
Nina-
Saldana, Nina
Nina
Simone.
Simone. movie,
pick.
yep.
Yeah.
So
Keep bringing it.
there you go.
He got lots of stories to tell, so that'll probably be interesting regardless.
Exactly. All right. On a little sadder note, the U.S. is offering $5 million to the capture of Joseph Kony. Now, we all know Kony. I don't know if you guys saw the, what was it, 25-minute video?
Yeah.
Kony's the bad guy over in Africa, and he's the Ugandan warlord, proper terms, the leader of the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda. So, even though we have this $5 million reward, the countries in Africa are kind of suspending the manhunt for him. They were overthrew last month, and they don't really want to work with us or work with anyone.
Yeah.
Kind of afraid of them.
Yeah, and it was.
It's
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, go ahead, say that, and then I want to hear you guys' opinions.
Well, it was also last year they had the whole thing with the Jason Russell, the guy who actually filmed. He's with the nonprofit Invisible
Right.
Children program, and he released the 30-minute viral video trying to basically inform them about Kony. And then he went crazy last year. He had some episodes in San Diego where he was running around his street
Naked.
and it's everywhere. It went everywhere virally. So they say that sort of sidetracked his whole project of trying to get Kony captured. So I mean, this story is interesting to me because he's in hiding now. So you know, and he's blending. I mean, how are they going to find this guy?
I mean, it's almost to a point of another Osama situation.
Yeah, it really
Pretty
is.
much, yeah.
And I mean, as for everything that we've done to cause awareness to it, I think it is still new with people, you know, as far as learning about what's going on over there, and actually getting people to care enough to go over there and really do something about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
this guy is accused of war crimes and kidnapping children
Kidnapping
and
of
making them
children is-
fight. I mean, come on.
It's awful.
It's
stuff.
terrible. They got to do something about
No,
this.
and
They
I
got to
mean-
capture this guy.
and you know, going through some of the different articles that we read, some people were saying that for us to mind our own business, and it's like, how can you mind your own business when you see pictures of kids' noses cut off,
Yeah.
lips cut off?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't
Yeah.
care what you're doing in your house. Like, when it comes to a certain point, I'm coming to knock on the door.
It's tough.
It is.
It's just tough.
So, let's see what Brock's gonna do about that.
I'm sure he'll be
He's
on
getting
it.
it from every direction.
He sure
Good
is,
Lord.
but he can be relieved because I don't know if you guys remember a while back, there was a Montana federal judge by the name of Richard Siebel, who
Jerkface.
sent a email to President Obama attached with a not so funny joke.
Not so funny.
Do you have the joke? Actually?
Actually, I do. I think I have the joke here. So basically, it was a joke about Obama, and in the joke, it's a young Obama asking his mother why he's black and she is white. And the text said, "Don't even go there, Barack. From what I can remember about that party, you're lucky you don't bark."
Why would you do that? Why
Like,
would you, was
why
it
would
an
you
accident?
Pass that on and like spread it around. Like, ooh, that's so funny. Really?
Because, I mean, by accident, I've sent some things that I mean to send. But first of all, why is that in your email database?
And
Exactly.
you spreading that around.
Right,
To
so-
the federal judges.
The letter, he wrote an apology and then also decided that he will retire May 3rd.
Yes.
Now, this comes after the Judicial Council issued an order on investigation on him. Basically, a lot of people are complaining, like, okay, how can he send an email like this? Is he fit to judge
Yeah.
people of color or even women?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It's the question is whether he can treat women and people of color fairly. So I mean, don't get me started because of our whole conversation that we just had a week ago about affirmative action.
True that.
So this goes right in with it. You're trying to get rid of affirmative action. You have people like this who are still
Making the
working,
decisions.
making decisions
Yes.
over our well-being as a people. Come on now.
I'm trying to live in Montana.
Sit down.
Sit down and be
He
quiet.
also
Down.
filed a complaint against himself.
Yes, I saw that. I was like, what?
So I wonder who made him do that.
Oh, the crazy.
But so that's one less thing Obama needs to worry about going
That's
on
good.
in America.
He catching a break. That's
But
good.
one thing you guys can make sure you stay tuned for is AfterBuzz TV. We have tons of shows. We do weekly post-game wrap-ups for your favorite TV shows like Real Housewives of Atlanta, Scandal, Deception, tons of them, Walking Dead. You guys can check us out. We all host over at AfterBuzzTV.com.
All right.
Nice.
So Courtney, what gossip and rumors do you have for us?
So many gossip and rumors all the time. So many gossip. So much gossip and so many rumors all the time. But this week, we got the Clomar scandal going on.
The Clomar.
The Clomar
The
scandal.
Clomar.
So Chloe and Lamar, as we all know, are in love and married and wonderful together. However, Mr. Lamar has a foundation called the Kathy's Kids Foundation, that is supposed to be supportive of initiatives towards helping people with cancer and helping underprivileged children. Apparently, they've raised about $2.2 million over the last few years with their eBay auctions from Chloe's closet and things from Lamar's closet. And the money, none of the money has gone to anything related to cancer. So there's huge uproar that, oh my God, what are they doing with the money? And Lamar was interviewed and he was like, it's my money.
Yeah.
And that was probably not the best thing
Yeah,
to
where was
say.
his PR
Wasn't
when
the
that
most
statement was
diplomatic
made?
way to respond to the press. And Chloe has since released a statement saying, yes, these are the things that the foundation was set to do. However, we have adjusted sort of our focus, and our focus is on the underprivileged children with the basketball leagues that they have been supporting with, I believe it was 60% of the funds has gone towards these inner city basketball leagues. So it's not that they're not necessarily in line with what their mission is saying that it is. It's just not entirely in line with everything their mission statement says, and they might want to change it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's funny because actually yesterday I was talking to somebody about starting a nonprofit, and they were explaining how hard it is actually
difficult.
to even get the money to the charity.
Yes.
There's so much paperwork. So I can understand if things weren't filed right or something like
Yes.
that. My thing is, and I was totally in the clear with them, but my thing is people donated that money for a specific cause. There are some
Yes.
charities I don't donate to.
Exactly.
Because I don't have enough money to go out and just give to everyone. So there are specific charities that, priority for me.
Right.
So if you're promoting something, it's kind of like, well, now you're just giving it to this charity? Well, I
Yes.
don't want that to go to that.
Exactly. Which is what the argument is.
And also, my thing is like, if you're an athlete and you're going to be involved with the charity, you have to be smart enough to know what things are happening with your charity. I feel like so many times these athletes go into this and they want to have this great image and they want people to know, hey, I'm doing this thing. But they don't even know step one about what it is to build a charity, where your money's going clearly. I mean, look, no diss to Chloe and Lamar. I love them, but I mean, looking at this, it's a whole photo shoot
really
thing going on.
is.
If you go to BlackHollywoodLive.com, you can look at the image that we're showing right now. It's this whole layout of like a photo shoot,
Yes.
and it's just this little paragraph about the charity.
Yes.
if you're going to get involved, know what you're doing.
Yes,
Right.
it should not just be a tax break for you,
Exactly.
athletes. And for those of you donating to charities, make sure you're actually aware of where the funds are going. And it takes work and it takes research, and it's not
really
always
does.
easy to figure out. But just be cautious about where you're sending your money when you're trying to help people out. Sometimes it's better to just walk down the Skid Row and help somebody out. In
Exactly.
Person. Help them out
Or
in
just be a
person.
spokesperson.
Just be a
Don't-
spokesperson.
yeah,
You know,
just be a spokesperson.
You know, but I hope they get it together because you know that's not fortunate.
I love
Anywho,
Macaulay.
so then there's also legal trouble in the land of In Vogue. I don't know. if
Hold on to your love.
they were so
They were the-
good.
they were the jams.
It's so frustrating when women can't get along when they're amazing because they were so amazing together. But obviously they don't get along. They haven't gotten along apparently ever in life.
Yeah, right.
They weren't getting along in the group, and they're certainly not getting along right now. So they went to court. They've been in court for quite some time, and basically, according to the legal documents, a judge has granted In Vogue founding members Cindy Herron and Terry Ellis the exclusive right to use the name In Vogue while performing and touring. So after a long, drawn-out legal battle with former bandmates Maxine Jones and Dawn Robinson, 2 chicks lose and 2 chicks win. So basically, Maxine and Dawn, you can't say you was in Vogue, you can't promote In Vogue, they can't use the name In Vogue while they're out singing on the road or whatever they're doing, which kind of sucks, I think.
That's crazy.
And it's weird to me with the Maxine thing because Dawn left the band early.
She did.
She was the
And she
drama in
left
the
in a
group.
fire.
She left with the fire. She went and, formed a group with Raphael Sadiq and
Which was great.
which was
Lucy
a great
Pearl.
band. But I could see them not wanting to use her just because of the drama that was
Yeah.
surrounding her. But Maxine seemed like she was cool with them. I mean, apparently not. But
Yeah.
that's sad because that was some great music that they put
Yeah.
out.
Well, maybe the deal is that they can pay. Maybe Maxine could pay like a fee or something to use the name if she wants to use it for promotions.
Yeah.
But she's not allowed to just use it.
That's crazy. Like, how are you a part? Like, how do we know the names of the girls in the group, but they can't use their group name?
Well, because in the end, everybody owns something,
That's
and
true.
somebody owned In Vogue, and
Yep.
it was not Maxine
That's
or
true.
Dawn.
It was not Maxine or Dawn.
Sorry, boo, you don't get to use it. Go sing a new song. But hopefully they'll keep singing somewhere else.
Keep
someday.
holding on.
Keep holding on.
Don't let go.
In other news, we also have a new Medea coming along. Mr. Tyler Perry is handing over the reins of his iconic role of Medea to the wonderfully talented Orlando Jones.
Why is he white-faced?
He looks like white chicks.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's not really Medea. That's like the chubby white chick.
Yeah.
But anywho, I think it's kind of cool. Like, Tyler Perry don't seem to release any kind of control over any of his stuff. So it's kind of nice that somebody else is stepping in and maybe gonna do something. with it.
Well, listen,
I think it'll be fun.
I just saw Tyler's movie this weekend, Temptation.
You did.
And I think that Tyler should
Were you
give,
delivered from evil?
I'm delivered
I
from
love
something.
Tyler, but I think that this is a good move for him because he
I
needs to
agree.
focus on what movies
Writing.
and scripts and writing that he puts out versus the character. And I love you, Tyler.
I do.
But
Respect
I
you.
respect you.
Think you're
You are the
amazing.
man. But after seeing that movie, I think this is a good move for you,
You got.
to focus.
I
There's more in
Focus
him
on
he
other
can give
things,
us.
yeah.
I believe
if he
that.
focuses.
Focus on
I
other
believe,
things.
then stop doing Medea movies.
You don't
And,
think
and create something else. Make him be Aunt
Medea cousin? Like, no.
something. This ain't Aunt Viv. You know what I mean? Like,
I
you
feel
can't
you.
just replace Medea. Medea ain't new. Medea been around. It's not like Aunt Viv 3 seasons, then we switch it to a new Aunt Viv
But that's
from
like
Fresh
saying
Prince.
you can't replace Spider-Man. They did like 18 different
there's
Spider-Man.
right.
No,
Why
that's-
would they
Superman,
do that?
Spider-Man.
They got like 12 Batman.
Right.
Why we can't
And
have more than
because
one
they're all
Medea?
Yeah, why we gotta have one Medea?
directed, they're all directed and written by different people. Tyler Perry is Medea. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna.
I think they might
Tank
be
the
actually
movie.
better. That's why I want to see. Because
Oh,
Orlando
yeah. You
Jones
think-
is great.
No, he
He's
is
great,
amazing.
and I
great.
actually could see him in this role.
Yes.
So I would say I would be willing to give it at least
A
one
try.
movie.
Exactly, one
Let's
try.
see what happens.
Let's see.
So
Let's
then
see
my
what
thing
happens.
is, you guys heard the rumor about there being a Shanae, Medea, and
Shanae.
what's Jamie Foxx's
Wanda.
movie.
Well, they did the spoof on
I
the
would
BET
love
Awards.
it.
And people love the spoof so much that they're talking about actually making a
That's
movie
genius.
about it.
To
think
me,
that's
that's genius.
amazing.
That's needed right now.
But really, to put Orlando Jones in there, like over Tyler Perry, like Tyler Perry, Martin, and Jamie Foxx. That's
I'm
But
gonna have to
he's
see.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Ladies first.
I just think Orlando Jones is a better actor.
I
and
agree with
a
that.
better comedian,
Yeah.
and he might actually bring something super awesome.
just
Exactly.
be the other aunt. Just change it. I don't know. I don't,
Let's just say this. Let's see what he brings first
I'm down to
before
see it.
we
we gonna
judge
see
it.
what he brings first
know,
because it's going
see it.
down.
Right.
Jesse, so you got to. accept
All right,
it.
enough about Medea. We
Medea,
Medea it out.
Medea.
Medea.
Okay, well, we talked about happy and
Uh-oh.
exciting things. Now we're talking about something a little dark. Okay, so Elmo's former puppeteer, Kevin Clash, has been accused again by a fifth accuser of naughty little boy behaviors. And so basically, the accuser is accusing him of a very similar thing that some of the other ones had, like sending a nice car to pick him up, to come over to his house and do some nasty things. And he was only 16 at the time, and the guy is now 25 years old, so he is suing him. And of course, Kevin Clash's people are saying this is absolutely false, and we will fight it and clear his name as we have before. I'm starting to get concerned.
I mean, at this point, it's like I understand why Sesame Street had to like. It's like, dude, all right, you know
for
what?
sure. Sesame
The
Street
first
definitely let
one,
him go.
maybe the second one, because the first one was a flop.
Yeah.
Like 3, 4, 5 though. Like you are enjoying putting your hand up Elmo a little bit too much.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, but
dirty,
what's
Jesse.
disturbing me the most is, like we were talking about this earlier, is the crystal meth infused sex parties. And I'm sorry, but my vision just goes with to Elmo.
We
like,
have awful
in this
vision.
room. It just, I'm never gonna be able to look at Elmo ever again. I don't care who plays him. I'm scarred for life. But besides that, it's just the fact of the sex parties. And then they were saying that when he would pick up the boys and bring them back, the limousine driver that picked them up would be in the room and masturbating while he was watching them, you know, perform these sexual acts with each other. It's all disturbing to me. Man, it's just.
Is it wrong to say that I actually believe that it's really true just due to the fact that he looks exactly like my neighbor that lives across from me, and he be bringing little boy.
I
probably
I think
shouldn't
it's
even
true.
said that on
I mean,
air, but that's fine.
I think. Yeah,
But I mean,
maybe
it's
not.
not
Maybe
true.
not. I hope it's not true.
5
but-
times
Very
though.
uncomfortable. Well, I mean, at least we know,
Ooh.
like, one of them 5 turned out to be a false accusation.
true,
The
yes.
guy was of age. It wasn't entirely false. I mean, they did do some nasty things.
Right.
But he was of
He
age,
was of age,
and
right.
consensual adult
And that's
situation.
different,
And it was
and
a
we can't judge for
party,
that.
and they got Crystal, and they were excited. So maybe that's.
It's just tainting things, like Michael
It just- it
Jackson
just-
to Elmo.
I just
Like
can't.
I just can't.
Yeah, let's move on. Okay, I hope it works out, Kevin. Clash.
The positive Elmo things.
Let's
What do
talk
we
about
got?
positive Elmo things. So we got rid of naughty Elmo, and now we got a new Elmo. And for a while, we weren't sure if Elmo was a boy or a girl, but it is a boy. And Ryan Dillon is voicing Elmo right now, and they said it actually might be temporary, so it may not be.
Yeah,
the
they say he's
permanent
not
voice.
permanent as of
Yes,
right now.
but for now, he's having all the fun with Elmo. So Elmo lives.
Did
in
you-
spite
Elmo
of-
lives.
in
Did you
spite
guys see
of.
the video?
Yes.
I did. Yes.
I
Of
wasn't
this
sure.
man, yeah, he was a little creepy. That man is just creepy.
He's creepy.
I'm just like, can we just get some normal damn
What is a
puppeteers?
puppeteer? Who's a normal puppeteer?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what
if
is a
that's your
normal puppeteer?
profession, Like,
I mean-
who's a normal puppeteer? Come on. Oh,
You're
well.
right, yeah,
I need
sure.
noodles. So Elmo
downgrading
continues
all
to
the
live
Why don't they just get a kid to play the Elmo voices?
because that costs too much money, and kids can only work for
Right.
like 4
Certain
hours a day.
hours.
A
Production
teenager,
ain't got
though?
time for
Teenager?
that. Production ain't got
Teenager?
time for that. Under
Okay.
18, ain't nobody got time
I
for
tried.
that.
It makes it less creepy.
Sorry. It does make it less creepy though. Speaking of, well, that's not really speaking of creepy. Speaking of love, so we talked last week about how Mr. Drake was maybe getting his swerve on with Tatiana Lee, but apparently that was all wrong because he posted on Facebook this week that he is chilling with his fam and his love, Miss Chili,
I love
and
me
her
some chili.
son Tron. So they're a cute couple.
I love
They
me
might
some
be in
chili.
love.
I mean, she seems really cool, down to earth.
She seems really cool, but did you watch her reality show when she was trying to find love?
Yeah.
All I can think is I wish I was the girl in the show helping her find love because, boo, you're not finding love like this. How old is Drake? 28?
Yeah, no,
He's young.
26.
I think he's younger than that. Yeah,
He's
like
26.
She
26.
wants babies and like a family. Like she's, well, or at least that's what she said on the show. Maybe she was just doing it for the show.
Right.
But like to settle down, like, yeah, that's a fun swing around for a little minute. But
Well, see, the thing is, normally I always felt like Drake kind of had his head on in the game, just by watching the things that he does do, until he did that $50,000
Right.
strip club thing
no,
in Atlanta. I'm just like, Chili.
no.
First,
But
I should
Chili,
have-
like,
Chili, get a man.
Chili likes
He's
the
a
young.
young-
She likes the young little rebellious cats. I mean, Usher, similar type.
But
you know
even
what I mean?
when she was with Usher, she was younger herself
Yeah.
at that point.
What's the
like,
fighter she was with?
She was with Floyd.
Floyd.
Floyd. You know, she
Mayweather.
likes that bad boy-ish.
Well, obviously it
boy.
ain't
Drake,
working.
he's Canadian. Like, I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
What is wrong with Drake?
I mean, they look cute together, but I just don't see it working out.
I don't see it working out
I mean-
either.
It's
She's
not
gonna be
gonna
mad.
work. I mean-
It looks like her son should be homies with him. Like,
Wait,
not
right,
like
they-
dating
why
him.
it look like Drake and her son are wearing the same type of clothes?
I mean, but you know what?
Exactly.
Chili's aging very well, and
She's gorgeous.
She's a
looks the
gorgeous
same.
girl.
Sick gorgeous.
But she probably should try maybe for a guy at least who's 30.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah. We'll
Like,
go
what
there.
a, yeah. I mean, he got
I mean,
a job.
does
but-
anyone still want to hope out there that Usher and Chili might get
I
back?
mean, there's a little part of me that's still like,
You never know.
and I didn't even love it when they were together, but
No,
I
but
really
now
hated
I
it when they
do.
broke up, and then he married that chick. It was all bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. Hope it works out, guys.
And then there's something about the handbags too, right?
Yes, her son, his face on a handbag. And there you have it. If you can't see it,
Bags
log
by
on.
Chili.
Bags by Chili, which actually they are kind of cute.
I didn't
You
think
can-
so. I mean, look at the trimming on that.
Okay, I don't like the tote bag. The only thing that I liked, and this has nothing to do with me, but they had a really cute baby bag, and I thought the idea that you can upload your own picture and have it printed on the canvas of your own like baby if you have a baby bag was a cute idea because it actually looks nice online. But then I looked at the prices.
Uh-oh.
I'm
What they
sorry,
have for
but look
us?
at that tote. That looks like plastic. Why would I spend $298 on that tote bag?
When you could probably go to Michael's and do it
I
yourself.
would glue my own picture on a bag.
I think
for
I've seen those in the
$15.
mall.
No, but
for
don't-
like
Pretty much,
$15.
exactly.
Yeah,
like
the little
hanging on the little
stands.
kiosks
Yeah.
in the middle of the mall. It looks
And-
cheap for $298.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that. I mean, I don't know. That trimming on that looks.
It's
kinda
not
crazy, but-
leather, it's pleather.
But
And if
I-
I can tell that it's not leather from a picture, we got a problem.
True that.
Anyway,
Wait, so
okay,
would you
so-
really walk around with a bag with your kid's face on it?
I only think, I personally wouldn't, but I thought as an idea, if I was going to put any picture on a bag, the baby bag was the only thing
Be
that
a
I
good
kind
baby
of
shower gift?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a baby
maybe
shower
maybe a
gift.
baby gift.
But otherwise, like a grown woman walking around with a purse with a face on it, I don't
Yeah.
get it.
So the girls from TLC just are not good
They're
business
doing
people.
random stuff. I don't know.
You know
That's
though,
real random.
this could sell.
It
weirder,
might.
weirder things have been sold.
We
so-
are a very vain society.
Yes.
So, somebody might be like, oh, look at my face. It's on my purse. Yay.
I just feel people are gonna look at it and be like, "We can go to the mall."
But by the way, the cheapest wallet was $135.
Bye. You based out in Atlanta?
I'm sorry. No can do. But hey, make your money how you can. Somebody buying it.
Well, yeah, listen.
Somebody's
buying
buying
it.
At the end of the
It
day.
just
At the
won't
end of the
be me.
day.
At the end
Well,
of the
thank
day.
you, Courtney, for
You're
all of
welcome.
that hot news,
So much
gossip,
gossip.
rumors.
Gossip, gossip.
Before we go to the hot topics of the week, I want to remind everybody to go to iTunes and go to Black Hollywood Live and rate us. Give us a comment. Let us know how you're feeling about the show. We're working really hard here to deliver some great stuff for you guys. So we definitely want to hear what you have to say about what we're doing here. So definitely go to iTunes.com and look up Black Hollywood Live and give us a good little rating.
Subscribe.
We like the
5
fives. We like the
stars.
fives.
5.
All right. Now for the fun stuff, the hot topics here, right? All
I
right.
guess it's fun.
Well,
It's
yeah.
intense.
Yeah, it's
It's-
intense. It's intense.
my-
Intensely
Courtney.
informative.
Intensely informative, right. So we have the Jacksons who are in the news again.
Again.
So Katherine Jackson and Michael's 3 children are suing AEG, which is Michael's concert promoter company. They're suing for $40 billion.
That's a whole lot of money.
It's a lot of money. The Jackson family is arguing that AEG Live had a duty to monitor Dr. Murray while he was on tour with Michael. So, Michael, we know, was addicted to
Propofol.
propofol. And propofol, for you guys who don't know, is a short-acting hygienic drug used for sedations.
He couldn't sleep.
He couldn't sleep, but he obviously was abusing that. But AEG's argument is the fact that they said that Michael actually sought after Dr. Murray before he signed on for This Is It tour. So they're saying that they had nothing to do with this. Michael had already been working with this guy and was already getting the drugs. So there's no reason for them to be sued. So we're going to see what's going to happen with this. Dr. Conrad has definitely been in the news a lot with all of this whole case. He's pleaded the fifth. They've been trying to get him to do a couple interviews. He called into Anderson Cooper's Anderson 360 this week, and Anderson was asking him about the whole thing, and he started singing. He started singing "The Little Boy That Santa Claus Forgot."
No.
Oh, Conrad.
And he said it reminded him of being a child, and he said he was going to plead the fifth and that he would not answer any questions.
Holy crap.
What is in
Oh
this
my-
world? I mean, between
Yo,
Cat Williams, Elmo, and that man, let's just put. they need to
Something
go
happened
somewhere.
in jail. Conrad is
We need more
stressed.
Beyonce on
we
TV.
need something.
But I think we were talking about this a month back. There's a documentary on Netflix who kind of spoke about the whole AEG thing. They bring it more into the Illuminati term
Of course.
yes, Michael sought out for his help. However, AEG got their hands involved with him and kind of offered him. They wanted full control of his career. They wanted full control
Right.
of his property, which they own. So
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
but do
what-
you think
I
that
just
40
think
billion? Do you think 40 billion is fair?
I mean,
No,
I think
no,
they
no,
just come up
That's
with a
kinda
big
crazy.
number that they're not going to get. But I do think it's interesting because I heard an interview with one of Michael's bodyguards that had been with him for years, and just how AEG is so trying to separate themselves from his business and like the goings on of his life. And the bodyguard was actually saying, you know what, they're like, you know, do you blame AEG? And he's like, I kind of do, because the reality is that Michael didn't control anything in terms of like business life and how his life operated, other than saying, I don't want breakfast brought in because I want to make breakfast for my kids, kind of thing. Because so like telling Conrad like what he can do and what he's allowed to do and what he needs to do, like that was all handled by powers that be, as he would say. And he even said like our payment, our existence with Michael, like he had nothing to do with it. Like we weren't getting paid at one point, and he just would complain to somebody, but he didn't necessarily have the power to go get them their checks, kind of situation. So
And I understand
that's an
that.
interesting idea.
And I do believe that the Jackson family definitely deserves a lot of money. But my only problem is that Michael was still a grown man. We're not talking about someone who's fresh in the business. He was in his
True.
50s. So I understand that he had a different lifestyle than most people, but he still is a man. He was in his 50s.
Yes.
So he should have some sense of mind to be able to control things to a certain
Well, that's
extent.
what they're saying. Like he's been taken advantage of because he wasn't, and just because he's 50 doesn't mean he can't be taken advantage of, especially if he's in a special mental
And it puts
state.
you into the mindset of what really goes on. To me, what goes on in the entertainment business. I mean, it really reminds me of Britney Spears. What's going on with her right now, as far as her life being controlled. I think when it comes to a certain point, it's like I know mad crazy people in the world. Cat Williams is out adopting kids in Russia.
right.
Michael
Yeah,
Jackson
right.
can't control his
Right.
property. So come on, something's really funny with AEG.
No, I hear you.
I think they have some culpability.
They got something. They got
Maybe
something.
not
But
40
40
billion.
40 billion is a lot.
but
Like, would you even say Well, I'm not even asking. Would you say Michael Jackson's even worth $40 billion?
Of course I would.
Well, I
It's
would
Michael
definitely say it, and then
Jackson.
after his death, I definitely say
Heck
so
yeah.
too. The estate.
And he had kids, and you took away
Yeah.
another at least 20 years of wonder and
Yeah.
amazement for the rest of us.
yeah,
And gossip and rumors.
And that's $40 billion.
and that's $40 billion.
That's where 40
Latoya
billion.
Jackson knows what she wants, and she gonna get it.
Can I get a half? Of
Half
a
five.
One?
All right. So you know what this weekend is. I don't know if you guys are basketball fans, but it's the NCAA tournament, Final Four this weekend in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I wish I was there.
We have Louisville versus Wichita State, Michigan, and Syracuse. And so basketball has been a really big subject this week, especially when it comes to Rutgers, who is not in the Final Four, but it's about the Rutgers coach, Mike Rice. He was recently fired because of allegations that surfaced with him on a video of punching his players, shoving players, hurling balls at their heads, berating them in front of crowds with homophobic slurs, and just being all around crazy.
Just crazy.
So this video surfaced. Initially, he was suspended from his position and then later fired. He also was he also had to pay $75,000 in fines and in lost salary. You know, he has apologized, but people are still really upset about this because they're comparing it actually to several different things. They're comparing it to Jerry Sandusky, and they're also comparing it to Bobby Knight. Now, Bobby Knight, I'm going to agree with. This is a very similar situation to that. Bobby Knight, who people didn't know, was the coach at University of Indiana, and he did very similar things. In fact, I think it was before the whole before the whole viral explosion happened.
Yeah.
So he was doing this during the games. You could watch a game and see him yelling at his players. But now that we have this, you know, we're in this viral world, you have to watch what you do. But I agree, it's very similar to that. But as far as Jerry Sandusky, I mean, I think that's just a
awful.
totally
He raped
different
kids, yeah.
case. He didn't rape the kids. These are college kids. You know, he was an aggressive coach. I saw the video. I don't know if you guys did, but
Yes.
I think comparing it to Jerry Sandusky
It's
is
an
just wrong.
awful comparison.
I do believe he should have lost his job.
Yes.
You know, I mean, but do I think that he should never be hired again? No. I
Maybe
know.
he should
What-
do some anger management
Yeah, I
classes.
feel like I feel like something needs to be done in a time period in between before he's out doing that again. I mean, for punching, like, first of all, the lawsuit would have been on me if I was one of those players. If
Yeah.
you put your hands on me in that
Yeah.
sense. So I think there needs to be a time set where he needs to go into counseling or something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean,
'cause-
and two of his players were like, it was like a big brother,
Yeah, it
like
was like a
beating
big
on
brother.
us and like keeping us in line. So I don't know. I mean, some people think like the dance moms lady is too crazy with the kids and stuff like that. Coaches have been
But she's
known
not
to be
physical,
harsh.
So that leads me
That's
to
what
a question. Do you think that in order to have structure with the kid or even like college kids that we're talking about, do you think that some type of really strict regiment on this
Punching?
level, not punching, but I'm saying in the sense of just like, it's saying berating and yelling. I mean, and that's what some of this causes. I mean, I don't agree with the homophobic slurs or anything like that, but being aggressive, do you think that that's a problem?
That's fine, but know when not to cross the
Yeah,
line.
he's crossed the line, I think. Once you do the physical punching and hitting, that has crossed the line. Because you can't do that to anybody on the street.
Right.
Like, and that's an exercise of your power that's not acceptable. Like, you're at work, you're dealing with children, or not children, young men. You shouldn't be able to hit anybody. That's assault. Like, you just shouldn't be able to do that. But the yelling and that just, maybe you need to go to therapy a little while and work it out.
Well, they did say he is in anger management therapy, and I tell you what he is going to miss is that $655,000 salary that he was receiving a year.
Oh, he sure is.
But he's
For
still
all those
getting his
lawyer
$100,000 bonus.
Yes, he is.
Because he
He'll be-
finished the season.
But he'll be using on lawyers.
Yes, that's true. And everybody else is like stepping down now too. So they're possibly about to lose their president.
Yeah,
at the
that's true.
university because he knew about it.
Because he knew
so.
about it. All right. Well, also in the news has been Obama with his war on the gun control. Right, so we have the NRA, which is the National Rifle Association.
War on
the
gun
war
control.
on
War
gun
on
control.
guns.
I love the picture we have too. So the NRA is working to make the National School Shield program available, a reality. So basically, what this program is that it would call on Congress to pass a law to put armed police officers in every school. This is right post off of Sandy Hook and also what happened in Aurora. So people are definitely they're up in arms, no pun intended, but they're up in arms right now over this subject.
For sure.
So
on both ends.
my feeling with this is I'm kind of split down the middle because there is an element to me that I think that some of these tragedies may not have happened if there was, a guard with a rifle or a gun in the schools. But one of the cons to this is that by having guns there, that also means that you have more of a likelihood that there is going to be some type of violence. Someone's going to get shot.
Yes.
Why? Wait, why?
Because if the guns aren't there, then you're not going to. It could be an accident. The gun could go off. He could accidentally shoot a kid. If the gun isn't there,
officer?
yes. The person on campus or at the school.
That's very dramatic, don't you think that?
No.
Well, I think it's very dramatic to expect to have armed guards in every school in the
Why?
United States of America. I think it's absurd. And
You don't think, first of all, the funding's definitely there.
the funding is not there, not based on the way we have funding for public schools right now. So unless they're going to change
I'm
that,
talking about
it
in the
does not
police force.
exist. It does not exist in public funds right now to put a police armed guard in every single school across this country. For one, we're barely paying our education system to like have teachers right now. How are you going to spend the money that needs to be spent with getting a better education on putting guns in the school? And what kind of, God, we don't think about any of the images or any of the what we're putting in our kids' heads that you need to fight the guns with the guns. It didn't work at Columbine. They had an armed guard in their schools. They had two.
They had two.
They had
They did.
two, and it didn't work. There's no proof that putting an armed security guard is going to change anything. And there's 80 million other things that we can do to help with the situation.
Like what?
Get the
paying
guns off the
attention-
street.
Get the guns off the street.
That's a start.
But we don't pay attention to simple things. Like kids, you can come and go in most elementary, middle school, and high schools pretty much open
Yep.
campus. Like simple things like certain ways to lock down the schools would change that tremendously. They want to talk about putting guns in teachers' hands. The lady that saved her kids in Connecticut put her kids in cabinets. Use some sort of bulletproofery on classrooms, give people places to escape from these schools. So they're like these one-halled schools that you can only get out one door. Why is there not other exits that are available? Like things like that. There's other things that we can try to do before we have guns in our kids' faces on a daily basis saying, this is how you protect yourself and this is the only way that we can protect ourselves right now. Like I just think there's other options because
Okay.
our community is already violent enough.
Well, let me play devil's advocate with this, though, and ask you this question. Because like I said, I'm kind of 50-50 with this.
Yeah.
So if you are a teacher, right, and
Yes.
you have a classroom of kids,
Yes.
and you are one-on-one with this gunman who is in your
Yes.
classroom, don't you think that if you have a gun and you're the teacher that that's going to help you. You can take out this guy.
I think
versus
the average,
just having avenues for
because
people
the average person
to be able to
is
run
not
to.
trained to shoot a
Yeah.
gun. Like the average person, lots of people freeze in situations like that. So to assume that a teacher who doesn't know and she's not shooting guns on a regular basis and doing these things, like to assume that she would actually get to her gun and be able to use her gun and not. A lot of people get their guns taken because they don't know how to use and handle a gun. Like before they can react, the person could already have their gun.
And
You
then the
learn that in
focus is
gun
off
training.
the kids.
Exactly.
In that sense, I don't believe the teachers should have the guns. Now, for me, in my high school, there was a time where I believe I was in 10th grade. All of a sudden, they started having police officers there,
Yeah.
and the whole mood did change at the school. Like it just. It did. I felt safer. In kids, there were less fights. It really did.
You said by having
by
guns?
having police
Yeah.
officers at the school. I mean, they only came towards the end of the school day, but it really did set a tone. They installed cameras. They installed these doors that, kind of like you said, which is something. They installed doors that would magnetically lock. So it could kind of like, if someone was running around in there, it would lock them in a specific area of the school. So, I mean, I guess there are other ways, but not for teachers. I don't think teachers should have
think
guns. I would prefer a cop there with a gun over teachers having
Well, at
guns.
minimum, I think maybe a cop should have it, just because just the state of where we're at right now, and just it's an inner
Or at
battle I
least
have
the-
with
It's
myself.
like answering.
because
Answering guns with guns seems to me like over the years we sort of only gone down that route. Like we're like, oh, it's just how it's becoming. Like we're not paying attention to what we're becoming because of it, and we're just trying to fix something that's an emotional state right now because everybody is so heightened about, these things that have happened. And yes, they are absolutely terrible, but they are also the anomaly. It is not the norm that somebody goes into an elementary school and shoots it up. Like 1% or something of students that are killed by guns are killed on school grounds.
Right.
So to assume that we need to answer that 1% with armed guards in every single school, to me, just seems insane. And it seems like an emotional choice and not a logical, intelligent
But it's so
choice.
glorified now that yes, it's a small percentage, but it's starting to happen
But
more.
that
It's starting to happen.
Starting
more.
to happen more.
Or are
is
we just hearing
not,
about
That's
it?
what I'm saying. Like that's a media issue to me. I don't think it's necessarily that it's starting to happen more. It's happening, yes, and I'm not trying to disregard it. But I think we aren't paying attention to those things the way that we should. We're just hearing, oh my God, all these kids died in this one thing, and now we got to react like all the way to the other side of the line. Like, and it's impulsive and it's emotional and it's ridiculous to me because it's scary, number one, that it exists to begin with. And it's scary that we're going to try to enhance it. Like having guns all of the time, all around children, maybe high school, okay, but elementary kids?
I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like I said,
I'm angry
I'm
about this.
50-50 with it. I'm really 50-50
Like, I
with it.
I guess we
I
know
mean-
what Courtney's voting
Yeah,
on. the
yeah,
Buzzer
exactly.
I believe in some gun control. Let me just say that. I just don't think that what the NRA is proposing is an acceptable remedy.
Well, then you should be with Obama because this week he was actually in Colorado. He met with the law enforcement officers and local leaders and the families of the Aurora,
Yes.
Colorado theater shootings. And his next step is actually to go to Connecticut, but he is opposing, of course, the stricter gun rules. And one thing he's also saying is that there should be more expanded background checks, a ban on certain types of semi-automatic rifles. The ban on semi-automatics is not expected to pass, actually.
Yeah.
They're more likely to pass the background check. But Obama said this week when he was giving his speech, he said, I don't believe that weapons designed for theaters of war have a place in movie theaters. And, hey, I mean, he's
on
going,
those.
he's
Pull the
with your points.
heartstrings, yeah.
He's with your
I
point.
mean, I was a friend of mine sent me a video yesterday of a music video he did, and there's one shot in his room and the guns that he had. I'm like, where do you get that from? And why are you putting that on?
You can get them at
camera?
Walmart, boo.
Not what he had. I was like, no, I didn't.
And it was
I
a video of it? It was.
It's a music video,
It's a
and I'm
music-
just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, then they need to watch the Snoop music video. Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Because he has a new video called No Guns Allowed. It features Drake.
Mind you.
What'd you
I
say?
shouldn't laugh.
Oh, that's the most terrible picture that we could put up with what we're talking about right now. That's kind of funny. But Snoop has a new video. Snoop Lion now
Lion.
has
Right,
a
right.
video.
Get it right.
And he is supporting gun control with Obama. The new video, as I was mentioning, No Guns Allowed, features Drake rapping and his daughter Corey B singing the chorus Congress on it. And quote, Snoop said that we've seen too much bloodshed involving guns, and we want to prevent the next incident from happening. That's what it's all about, trying to bring awareness and push love and peace. Snoop, who was sporting his new dreads in the video,
Yes, he was.
featured the video actually features portions of Trayvon Martin, the Columbine, several shots from the protest with Sandy Hook, and also some other features from Colorado. So, you know what? Snoop's changed his thought.
And it's funny because a lot of people are throwing a lot of backlash at him, talking about he's a hypocrite and how dare he say this when, you know, he's been in how many music videos with guns. And it's just like, instead of looking at that, let's look at the progression and the growth.
Like,
and
can
Are people
grow
are
up?
people allowed to change?
Thank you.
Excuse me. Are you only able to be one way your entire life? Come on, people.
he's not Snoop
ridiculous.
Dogg anymore.
He
He's
is
Snoop
Snoop
Lion.
Lion.
Why don't they accept the fact and be happy with the message he's promoting now?
Thank
Because
you.
young kids are listening to him.
Exactly.
Haters.
People, man,
Idiots.
jeez.
Haters
Cut
never
no
made
slack in this
it.
world.
See why we don't need guns around?
See why we don't need guns
Because
around.
there's too many stupids out there.
Well, you know, someone who else is also getting slack is New York, because they were one of the first states to actually pass the new tougher gun laws there. They passed the Secure Ammunition and Arms Enforcement Act of 2013. Basically, the act has a variety of different rules, but some of the rules are bans on possessions of any high-capacity magazines, regardless of whether they're made or sold. Ammunition dealers are required to do background checks, which is another issue, once again, that Obama was talking about. The registry of assault weapons, and allowing law enforcement officers to seize a person's firearms without a warrant. So this is going on in New York, and as I was mentioning, they're one of the states that really made the first kind of pass for this, but there was a slight oversight in this whole problem, because
bit.
a lot of production for movies and TV and film is done in New York. So they use fake assault weapons, they use, you know, blank guns, and now they're possibly going to face legal penalties because of the fact that this oversight has not been exempt for them.
Yes.
So they're complaining because they're saying, listen, unless this rule is changed, I think they have a deadline of April 15th to make a filing to say that, you know, usage of these type of guns in movies is okay. They're going to start getting a lot of headaches and penalties for all the stuff that they're doing in the movies, which is not going to be good for the movie business. And
It's not going to be good for New York.
it's not going to be good for New York and the economy there. So, you know, I think they think it's going to pass, but it just hasn't yet. And one of the senators there, Dean Skelos, has been very vocal against special treatment for the movie industry, saying it sets a bad taste and precedent. Because he said, if people can't carry guns, why are guns allowed in movies?
Well, okay, so
But that's entertainment. It's different. It's
I don't know.
different.
I'm kind of torn with it because I kind of understand. Because again, going back to where you said putting an armed officer, we're glorifying the idea of guns versus guns, and it's almost to the point of like literally. I mean, every movie you go and see is glorifying the use of guns. I mean, we talk about how many rappers put them in their videos, or just and not even just rappers, just musicians put them in their videos for entertainment value, and then kids. Just like the video I just talked about, kids are going to see that, and then they're going to be like, oh, I want that. That's cool. That's gangster. I mean, I used to watch a kid at the Boys and Girls Club, and the pictures that he has on his Facebook, I'm like, well, how do you get these things? Like,
Right.
I was playing with mud at that age. Like, how do you have, I mean, that doesn't, I couldn't even tell you the name of the type of gun it was. Like, I don't know that stuff. So maybe it's like, okay, well, Hollywood, instead of getting mad, like, let's be creative and think of different things to do.
So you think
Let's
they
use
should? So you're
sock
saying?
puppets.
Are you? Let's use sock puppets. Are you saying that they should use less guns in movies now? I mean, because
Yeah.
guns have been in movies forever, though. When we were little
Yes,
kids,
they
guns
have.
have been in movies.
But back in the day, people used to carry guns forever. And then we made rules.
I don't think it's just that the guns are in the movies. I think it's our messages
The way they're
around
used.
guns and messages around our culture in general. So it can't just be about guns in the movies. So maybe the goal of the amendment should be like, yes, you can possibly have guns in the movie, but maybe there's some sort of stipulation where you have to do some level of justification for the amount, or there's some sort of
I like
limit
that.
in terms of what you're able to actually show with the guns. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a time when all the crazy stuff that's going on, we're all like, oh, they're shooting up everybody. Like, this is a chance for us to actually think about shit. excuse me, think about things.
Oh, you
She
just got
mad.
you
I'm
just got us the
sorry.
explicit label
I'm sorry.
on
It
iTunes.
didn't come all the
Download,
way out.
subscribe,
It didn't
rate.
come all the way out.
That gave us a 5 right there, just because of that.
Just think about stuff and like be more innovative about how we're thinking about what is going on in our freaking country right now, and that the answer isn't necessarily as simple as we would like to make it. Like
That's true.
no guns, like
Right.
think about it, and maybe there's some way we can work it out. Because I do think that there's some level that art deserves to express itself,
Of course.
honestly and realistically. But at the same time, I recognize that we live in a culture now that is very different, and what messages we're sending to children and people in general it's a different world in terms of how we receive and how we process things. So we should pay attention
Well-
and just try to do something else.
And my thing is too. I mean, if we're going to start with movies, we got to start looking at video games. We got to look
Yes.
at all, games in general.
Games in
you know?
general.
So it's a bigger issue.
It's a huge issue. So that's why there's no freaking just one Band-Aid NRA to fix everything.
Well, speaking of
Sorry.
someone who should not have a gun, Chris
Ever
Brown.
in life.
Ever in life. Chris Brown was on Matt Lauer's Today Show this week, and Matt was challenging him about his new album, his growth since the whole Rihanna dilemma that everyone in the world already knows about. Matt had asked him in reference to his maturity, because Chris was saying how, you know, he's really grown since the incident over the last couple of years, but the media keeps still portraying him in a certain light. So he was saying that, you know, I'm becoming a man. I'm mature now. So Matt asked him if this whole maturity thing had to do with him wanting to sell a record.
Yes.
I love
love
that
that
point.
question.
I love that question, I must admit. So, you know, Chris answered, of course, said no, but he gave a little bit more background on what happened when the whole thing happened with Rihanna. Chris said he went to 52 weeks of domestic violence counseling in Virginia. He said that he's really matured. He said that Matt even asked him and warned him. He said that if he ever hit Rihanna again, it would be detrimental to his own reputation and as well as hers. And, you know, I mean, we obviously know that, but it was interesting to see Chris's reaction to it, because a lot of the old interviews that I've seen Chris on, he would have reacted a little bit more. I feel like he would have stomped off or given some type of, you know, aggressive emotion towards it. And I have to say, he handled it pretty well, because Matt went at him a little bit. So Chris did seem like he had grown a bit, or his PR was looking at him in the room. Jesse's not buying it.
You're not
and
buying it?
No, I'm actually mad at Matt Lauer, because I'm like, why are we still talking about this? He dated Karrueche for how long? There was never an incident like this. So to sit there and say, are you really over it? Are you trying to sell a record? Well, obviously he's trying to sell records. But as far as the whole incident with Rihanna, like, obviously they were in love with each other, because she keeps going back to him. Like, and we've all had some crazy relationships. Now, there was an incident. It was not a pretty incident. It was years ago. Has he shown symptoms of doing things like that? Okay.
He
wait.
did throw something out the window.
Right.
What was that, GMA?
Yeah, exactly.
Good
That was at
Morning
GMA.
America.
Right.
And that was just like a year ago.
Good Morning America and Drake.
I'm just saying.
I'm with you
But
on that,
I'm
Courtney.
saying there are bigger situations, like the Rihanna situation is much bigger than the Good Morning America, much bigger than, I mean, the Drake thing was actually pretty bad, actually.
And he
It
was,
also involved Meek Mills and Drake. It involved another group of people. And it's like, we don't know the real incident of how that went
course.
down. We
right,
don't
but,
really know.
but you have to be understanding of how you're perceived in the public.
get that,
and,
but what
and
I
his
would-
perception is that he is violent or has an attitude or all these different things. That's what he's bringing. So you can't be mad on how you're judged when that's what you're bringing.
I get that, but at the same time, like Matt Lauer, like it just sounds so bitchy to me to be like, no, it does. It sounds, it's so like, really, Matt, like you're a respectable news reporter and you really said, you know, if you hit Rihanna, like he's really gonna hit Rihanna again.
He might.
Really?
He
I mean, I hope
might.
not, you
I
know?
hope not. I pray
not.
not. And I'm glad he looks not like a meth head
Like
right now. He looks
yeah,
really
he
good.
did look, no, he did look kind of scary. But
he had been
I
looking
just think
scary.
at the end of the day, the two just don't need to be with each other.
Well, you say
like
that,
Matt
but
Lauer and Chris Brown.
No.
Or Chris
oh yeah, I was
Brown.
gonna say Matt, right.
But all three of them just cannot
Agreed.
be.
Well,
They probably shouldn't.
It's funny you
but-
say that because of all the rumors that, of course, we've been hearing about them breaking up, them staying together,
Yeah.
meaning Rihanna and Chris Brown. Matt did ask him if they were still together, and Chris Brown confirmed that they
Oh,
are
yeah.
still living or still together. So
Which is interesting because I don't know.
And you say that they're in love, but some people are like, oil and water.
Yeah,
like
no.
the passion is all strong and great and fantastic when you're doing happy things, but then when you do unhappy things, you get crazy and you do some very unfortunate things. So that's the first interview that I believed he's maybe made some progress.
agree.
Like every other one has been like, Chris, go on, sit down. Who
Yeah.
let you go on TV?
Right.
That was
Right.
bad.
Where's your PR? Your
Where
PR sitting right
people,
next
they
to
need
you.
to sit you down and you need to stay in therapy for a few more months. So it seems like therapy maybe is working, and God willing. I mean, you know, he was young. We all outgrow certain things. I had an anger issue and I've outgrown it. So like it can happen.
Yeah,
you
mine
know?
pops up every once in a
You know,
while, but
I
don't
had a
judge me.
temper,
Don't
but
judge
I
me.
grew out of it. I didn't beat nobody down, but you know. So hopefully he is. But I don't know.
They just what?
They just don't. Rihanna, it's not a good look.
It's not.
I'm
but
sorry.
And I mean, it's not.
I'm just
like,
over it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
I am over it too. Like
I'm
I don't
over
need
it.
to hear about it anymore. But Rihanna,
Jay-Z
come on,
and
girlfriend.
Beyonce 5-year anniversary.
That's what we
Exactly.
like.
Strange, strange,
Yes,
strange.
yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Chris Brown. I do want to remind everyone once again to go to the buzzer meter question so we can read those results next week. Once again, the question is, should security guards have guns in schools? And as you can see, it's a heavy debate for us in the studio. We'd be interested to hear what your viewpoint is about it, and we'll read those results next week. Where can everybody be found in this room?
You can find me at DJ Jesse J on Twitter.
I was Stuart Starlet on Twitter.
You can find me, Dario Kristen, on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show today, Black Hollywood Live this week, and we will see you again next Friday.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.